In this video, we're going to walk you through how to export a TPC drawing to CAD. Now, I want to drop into the help topics. So help, and you can scroll down to a section called Using CAD. And what you're going to learn in this section is that Traverse PC isn't a CAD program. So I'm not going to come in and use CAD tools to draw my surveys. Instead, I'm going to use the Quick View technology, Traverse drawing settings, surface settings, to create the drawing that we just looked at. But I can share or interface with CAD as needed. So if I'm working for an architect, an engineer, planning department that wants a CAD drawing of what I did in Traverse PC, I can simply export that to them. And we cover a lot of that in this help topic. In particular, I want you to open this CAD export workflows. So we've got workflows for both importing and exporting. Today we're going to be exporting a drawing. And we say, okay, Traverse PC interacts with CAD in a number of different ways. You can choose the way that works best for you and maybe works best for that particular job. So we have you answer some of these questions. There are 6 of them. The very first one is, am I just exporting a one-off CAD drawing? And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. So we choose a workflow based on that. And the workflow we're going to cover today is exporting that one-off CAD drawing. So I can say for many projects, you deliver a single CAD file. We call this a one-off CAD file. So this is a common workflow. This is typical of a site survey you might do for a client and send a CAD file to their architect, engineer, or some planning department as part of a permit process. And that's exactly what this sample survey is that we brought up earlier and showed you. So let's jump in and take a look at exporting a TPC drawing to a one-off CAD file. So this is one of our sample surveys. Let's show you how to access that. I'm going to close that survey. We're going to come over to the Task Manager and come down to Sample Surveys. Traverse PC brings up the surveys that are distributed with this version of Traverse PC. They're in the Samples folder. And I'm going to walk down to Sample Huerfano County School District. And let's double-click that. So here's the drawing that this user completed in Traverse PC. And you can see it's got a legend, the title, north arrow scale bar, a vicinity map, all their narratives, legal signatures that they need, and then here's all the survey information. If I were to come over to the Drawing Data Manager and take a look at this, a lot of you CAD people are going to say, I'm familiar with layers. Well, here are the layers that are used. I'm familiar with blocks. Well, here are all the symbols that are used, and each one of these symbols is a block, plus the additional blocks for things like the north arrow and the scale bar. I've got fonts that I used. I've got raster images that I used. So when we write the CAD file, we're going to find that Traverse PC writes a rich CAD file with all the layers, blocks, multi-line text, raster images. Everything that you see in this drawing gets duplicated or recreated in that CAD drawing. And the person that opens that CAD drawing probably won't even know that you didn't do this in CAD. Traverse PC is that careful and extensive about how it writes those CAD files. So let's do the steps here that are covered in the help topic. We say in whatever CAD drawing you want to export, pull down the Tools menu and choose Export Drawing As. I'm going to pull down the type, and you can see that there are GIS, raster images, vector images, and we want the CAD, and I'm going to choose the AutoCAD DWG, and I'm going to write the entire drawing from the what list. Now, the first thing you might want to do is choose the settings. It's the gear button, and I will oftentimes contact the architect, engineer, or planning department and say, what version of AutoCAD would you like? AutoCAD's the most common, but you can also export DGN files. And a lot of times I'll find out they're still on R14 of AutoCAD, or they've got a 2004 version. So I'll send them the version of AutoCAD that they can open in their AutoCAD file, and then I'll simply export. Traverse PC is going to write that file, and now I've got a DWG file created, an AutoCAD file created for this one drawing in Traverse PC. I'm going to preview that in the CAD view and then close the dialog. So you can see here's our Traverse PC drawing in the drawing view. Here's the CAD drawing in a native CAD viewer. So our CAD view isn't the place where you're going to come and draw everything, but it provides a great tool for you to see what you're doing, or when we import data from a CAD file, we have a lot of options about how to do that. We'll cover that in another video. So inside this CAD drawing, I can see that I get the same layout that Traverse PC used in the drawing, but I can also come in and say, I want to look at the model space or the survey portion of that, and here's all the survey portion. So remember I said it writes a rich AutoCAD file. This is an example of that, where I can see both the model space and the layout space, which matches the drawing name. Now I'm going to open up a CAD program called ProgiCAD, and let's open up this file that we had here. So the file is now opened in ProgiCAD. I'm going to zoom extents so we can see the whole layout, just like we saw in the CAD view. And so you can see that actually the user could plot this out on a 24 by 36, and everything would be to scale with the correct margins. So great, rich CAD file that is useful right off the bat. But I'm going to come over to model space and do another zoom extents. And we can see here's that same model space information, but I want to pull down information for this drawing so that we can see here are those same layers that we had in Traverse PC. And Traverse PC set up whether those layers are on, off, frozen or thawed, locked or unlocked, the line types, the colors, all of that comes across to CAD provided by Traverse PC. We can see those Traverse PC layer names here. Remember we looked at those blocks? So Traverse PC wrote all those symbols as blocks. So now those symbols are all available to me in my CAD drawing, along with the blocks for the scale bar and the north arrow. So we're going to see that even the line types. Here are all the line types used in the drawing. I think we can even do fonts, the text styles. Here are the fonts that are used in that drawing. So Traverse PC has exported a lot of information for me to use in a CAD environment as if I had drawn all this in CAD to begin with. So I want you to know that when you export a CAD file from a Traverse PC drawing, you're providing a very good drawing file, even with layouts, for that person to use, and is going to look just like the drawing that you had in Traverse PC, as it should. So remember, in our help topics then, we can come into the Using CAD section. We can look at CAD export workflows. We can answer some questions about what we're actually providing for a CAD file, or how we're providing that. And then we can choose a workflow. And there are 5 of them covered here. And we covered the first one, exporting a TPC drawing to a one-off CAD file, in this video.